Hi everyone, it's Helen here and thank you for joining me for today's video. So today we're going to be working on how to assemble the pages for the small album. Now the concept is the same for the medium and the large, but this is my latest release, so we're going to be working on the small album today. So this is what we're going to be working on. So the small album is the same size as the previous portrait album, if you have that one already. This one is different because we have the binding included in there, and we have different, because of the different way that the pages assemble, which I'll get to in a moment. You can choose to have your pocket pages on the side or the top, depending on how you assemble it together. So let's have a quick look at the die set before we start to assemble. So here is the die set. Here we've got the spine pieces here, and in the previous video I showed you how to put these together. So we're working on the pages today. You get the page mat, and you also get the large like full, it's almost a full page. So we have the large pocket here, we have the smaller pocket. Both pockets have the shaped mats as well with the thumb hole. We have this lovely trellis detail there, and we also have this index tab. So I absolutely love that for each pocket page. Now let's jump straight into the tutorial. So I've got you have to make 8 of these, 8 pages. That's 16 individual cuts there to create one page. So it's 2 cuts per page, and I'll be showing you exactly how to trim those off to make this. So we're going to be going for a portrait orientation with a side pocket. That's what we're going to be making today, and then at the end I'll quickly show you how we're going to make one on the side, because in the previous video we made some spine pieces. Okay, so I've got these ready already. These, I've got 7 there done, so I have 2 here ready to go. So I'm just going to grab my paper trimmer now. We need to lose the tabs from each side. We're going to keep the ones at the top, and we're going to cut off the ones on the side. Okay, so you can use scissors for this. I'm going to use my paper trimmer. I'm going to use my bone folder now, and I'm just going to fold over those lines. I'm hoping the cardstock I've chosen isn't going to be too dark. Hoping, yeah, I'm just looking at the screen there. You're absolutely fine, you can see that. So on the first one I'm just going to add some glue. I prefer to use glue for my mini albums because I find tape just comes undone on me after a couple of years. So I do like my albums to last, because I'm putting my photos and my memories in there. Okay, so I've just added this up straight up to the score line, so I can now just carefully fold that over. Make sure everything's still lined up. If you haven't done it straight and you've used glue, you still have a little bit of chance there just to get that in the right place. And I'm just going to add some more glue just to this side. There we go. And then we can pop that on. There we go. Now sometimes I do like to add my paper to these pages and then decide, you know, in the order that I'm going to pop them in. Sometimes I just go ahead and just make myself a plain book. So we are going to, I think I've made this out of I did this wrong. Never mind, I've swapped the colours over. So we're going to be having contrasting binding. So this actually works out really well, because you can actually see what I'm doing. So if I was going to use the blue binding of this, it would really blend in. So this way you can see what I'm doing. So this is where you have a choice. You can pop this onto all of these and just keep it as it is, just like that, and you can have each page creating your outer cover as well. So that's 8 pages. So that's this is where I always get confused. It's really hard to explain. I don't know why I have trouble with this. Right, so you have 8 pages, and the 2 become your outer, and you have 6 for the middle. But if you wanted to make a hard wrapped cover, I have one just here. You can pop your binding, your spine system, straight into there. Now I've used my new toolkit. This is the bookbinding set and case. Now I do have a video on how to use all of these tools, on how to make the perfect wrapped cover. Now this is my favourite. These two here are my favourite because it gives you the spacing for the spine, and it also gives you that corner miter tool as well for getting the perfect corners. So I will link this down below as well. But these pages just simply slot onto there, and then you can go ahead and add your 8 pages. So to get 8 pages, make yourself a wrapped cover. But if you just want the 6 pages, then you can just do it this way. And if you want to have a tougher cover, you can add your chipboard pieces over the back of this. But anyway, let's get on with getting these together. So I'm just going to exercise my hinges. So I'm going to get my bone folder and just press them all one way. Then I'm going to turn them over, get them going the other way, and give those a press as well. Because this is a working book, we want to give the pages a really good chance to turn left and right, make it really easy. So this is just training your spine system there, your binding, just to turn really nicely. So we're going to start off with the back one first, and we're just going to add glue. It's a rather warm day here, so my glue might dry quite fast. So I'm just adding glue to the outside one here, and I'm just going to add glue just to the other side. This is going to form our back cover, because I won't be making a hardback today. So this is going to be just a very simple put together album. So I'm going right up to the score line just here. I'm just checking everything at the back. I'm happy with that. And I'm just going to press that down, and this glue does dry clear as well, so I'm not worried about too many glue splodges that come out, but just wipe them off if you get any. Okay, so I'm going to turn this book upside down now, and I'm going to repeat. Just add your glue there, and on the other side. Again, feel free to use double-sided tape, but if you do, just add a little bit of glue on top of that, just for extra security. Again, if you're new to this, use the glue, because you will have a little bit of manoeuvring room just to get things into the right place. So that's folding up nicely. That's nice and neat at the back there. And there we have our cover done. Now it's up to you whether you want to keep these pockets here or glue them closed. I'm going to glue mine closed, but it's up to you whether you want to keep pockets on there. All of my other pages I'm going to keep as pockets. Okay, we can now start adding our pages. So again, the concept is exactly the same, and I'm going to give you some tips on how to line everything up, because this is the point where we don't want to have any wonky pages. You may have got your binding and spine pieces in straight, but you can still go wonky if you don't put these on nicely. Okay, so I've got glue either side of this flap here, and I'm just going to slide this on just like so. And then what I'm going to do before I press anything down is I'm going to line them up top and bottom just here, and I've got this edge of the page here right up to the score line, so I'm happy with that. It's all straight, and I'm going to press down and get rid of any excess glue that might have come out. And I'm pressing it down in the flat position, because if you kind of press it down in this position, it's going to want to stay up like that and not turn very nicely. So that is the first page done. Okay, so I'm going to add a few more pages, and I'm actually going to save the rest of this album for adding a few more pages when I go live. Now this video is coming out after I'm going live, so if you wanted to watch the launch from that, I will add a link for that down below. It's about an hour's show with live demonstrations with me and Lou, and a closer look at the entire new collection of the bee garden as well. So it's quite exciting. So it's all go here with getting my demonstration prep done and my videos done for the tutorials as well. So it's absolutely fantastic that I can work out this demonstration fully and use it again for my lives. So that is how, you see how I've lined everything up there? That is how you add the pages for this album. Okay, so the concept is exactly the same for the medium and the large. Right, so I will finish that off for my live with Lou. Okay, so I did say at the end of the video I was going to show you how to make the landscape version of this album. So I've die cut 2 of these. Actually, I want to show you something else before we do this, because I can use one of these to actually help me demonstrate another page assembly style. So let's fold these over. So to make this page, it's going to be in portrait just like that, and it's going to have a top loading pocket, very similar to the original dies, the portrait die. Okay, so you're also going to be needing to cut another piece of cardstock measuring 4 by 6 3/8. If you have the portrait editions, which is still available to purchase, I'll link that down below, you have a die for this this dimension. However, it's a very, very simple and easy cut to make, 4 by 6 3/8. But the portrait editions does fit this album perfectly, and also you get loads of extra pockets and mats and accessories as well. Okay, so all you have to do to make one page is to glue these two together. I'm not going to glue it because I need to use this for the next part that we're doing, but you're going to glue those onto that section and that section, and then you'll have an opening at the side and an opening at the top. This is what's going to attach to your binding, and you'll have a top loading pocket. Now I'm going to try and demonstrate. It will come apart a little bit, but I'll try and demonstrate this. So that is going to slide onto your spine just like so. This is going to be glued down the side, and then you'll have a top opening pocket at the top. Okay, so I'm hoping that makes sense, and again you need to make 8 of those 8 pages. Okay, so let's move this one aside. Right, so we're going to be doing exactly the opposite of what we have just done with this album here. On this album we cut off the long side, but on this one we're going to trim off the shorter one. So again, I love using my bone folder for this. Okay, so I'm going to use some long handled scissors here. The long handled, so the long bladed scissors are really going to give you a nice straight cut there if you don't want to get your trimmer out. Okay, there we go. And then just grab your glue. And we're going to join these two together, just like so. There we go. Carefully, because it's still wet, just carefully fold that over. Make sure everything is lined up. You might have cut a bit wonky there, but that doesn't matter. It won't show in the finished project unless it's like super dodgy wonky. If you get super dodgy wonky, use a paper trimmer. And then just glue this, and then fold that down, and then you'll have the opposite of what we've just made, with the long tube with the holes either end. Okay, so now we can just pop this. So this was assembled in exactly the same way as this one. So now we just need to add our page. So I'm just going to add glue to both sides of the hinge, and then we can slide that on. There we go, and line that up. There we go, that's lined up perfectly. And we can press that down. That should be lined up with the front page as well. So that is how you make the landscaped version. Okay, so I hope you really enjoyed that one. That is the small album. So before I go, I do have a Facebook group, Paper Crafting with Helen Griffin. I will link that down below. And we just recently reached 1,000 subscribers on there, or 1,000 members. So I did say I was going to go live, which I haven't had time to do yet because I've been so busy with launches, but I'm hoping in the next month or so I can do that. Now this is my prototype, so we're going to be making another one of these together live, so do make sure you have joined that group. This is going to be a special like perk for actually being in the group, so it's going to stay as an exclusive there. But just as a quick sneak peek, it's a work in progress because I haven't finished gluing the pockets because I want to add a bit of paper there. But we have a pocket on the side, a pocket on the top. It's a complete scoreboard make, so I haven't used any dies at all making this, and it's super easy to make as well. So please do join me in that group. I will leave that linked down below. Okay, and hopefully if it does happen in July, I might use Christmas papers. That would be super exciting. So I love Christmas albums. Okay, so that is the small album die set. I hope you enjoyed that one. That is 3 ideas on how to assemble your pages. So there's loads of options there for you. Subscribe in the corner there. You can click the icon because there's plenty more mini albums and memory keeping ideas coming up. So thank you very much for joining me today, and I'll see you again next time.